McDonough says attack on Assad regime would send message to Iran. Press pass. Point branded _ header left curly bracket background image. URL http://cdn.lib.newsvine.com/chrome/meet-the-press/images/header.jpg equals 10,479 right curly bracket. MSN. Outlook. More. Autos. My MSN. Video. Careers and jobs. Personals. Weather. Bellish. Quotes. White pages. Games. Real estate. Wonderwall. Horoscopes. Shopping. Yellow pages. Local edition. Traffic. Feedback. Maps and directions. Travel. Full MSN index. Bing. mcnews.com. Today. Nightly news. Meet the press. Dateline. MSNBC. Breaking news. Newsvine. Home. U.S. World. Politics. Business. Sports. Entertainment. Health. Tech. Science. Travel. Local. Weather. McDonough says attack on Assad regime would send message to Iran. Sunday, September 8, 2013, 9:14 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. By Tom Gray, National Affairs Writer, NBC News. White House Chief of Staff Dennis McDonough said Sunday that an impending U.S. attack in Syria would send a message to Iranian leaders that they should not feel free to develop nuclear weapons. McDonough said in NBC's Meet the Press that to communicate with them we have to be very clear, very forthright. This is an opportunity to be both with the Iranians. He said, nobody is rebutting the intelligence, nobody doubts the intelligence that is the basis for President Barack Obama pinning the blame for an August 21st chemical weapons attack in Syria on President Bashar Assad's regime, which is fighting to suppress a rebellion that began in 2011. White House Chief of Staff Dennis McDonough visits Meet the Press to discuss recently released footage of a chemical assault in the Syrian people. McDonough noted that our troops have not been subject to chemical weapons attacks since World War I, and argued that we have to make sure that for the sake of our guys, our men and women in the front lines, that we reinforce this prohibition against using chemical weapons. If Assad is not deterred, he will put chemical weapons in the front lines in his battle against the Syrian rebels, and that would mean a greater risk of them being proliferated and perhaps falling into terrorists' hands, McDonough argued. He added that the momentum in the battlefield will be changed by a targeted, limited effort, but he said ultimately there is not a military resolution to the civil war in Syria, only a political, diplomatic resolution. McDonough's appearance on Meet the Press and other Sunday talk shows was one part of an intense public offensive headed by Obama himself, including the president doing interviews Monday with 6 television networks and culminating in his speech to the nation Tuesday night. McDonough said Obama wants Congress to be a full partner in military action against Assad's regime. Obama faces one of the crucial weeks of his presidency, with the Senate headed for a vote as early as Wednesday to end debate on a measure authorizing an attack on Syria. The measure's supporters need 60 votes to move it ahead to final passage. Reaction from members of Congress has ranged from endorsing an attack to wariness to fervent opposition. The division in the issue hasn't followed party lines. Senator Tom Udall, DN.M., who voted against the resolution authorizing use of military force last week in the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, said in Meet the Press Sunday that he was very disappointed that the administration has given up on the United Nations and in rallying the world. The American people, Udall said, don't want to be embroiled in a Middle Eastern civil war. This is an act of war that we're going to take. We haven't exhausted all of our political, economic, and diplomatic alternatives. Obama, he charged, is moving much too rapidly down the war path and not trying to find a political solution. Another Democrat, Representative